everybody. I'm Susan Kennedy, and I am the host of today's Senior Resource Fair. I should say co-host because Sydney Katz and Mayor Bridget Newton are actually co-hosts with me, and we have lots of excellent information for you today. I will mention, though, that do not worry when you hear of all this information and see the slides that we're presenting today. We will be able to get you that information after the program is over. So do not worry about writing all these things down that you see come across your screen. I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Sydney Katz for some brief remarks.
Well, good morning and welcome, and thank you, Susan. I am Sydney Katz, and I'm the Montgomery County Council member for the 3rd District. It's my pleasure to be co-hosting this Senior Resource Fair with the City of Rockville. And although in the past, this has been an in-person resource fair, today we're hosting it, as you can see, virtually to enable all to attend safely. I'm proud of the many, many resources Montgomery County and the City of Rockville and all the municipalities provide to its residents, and particularly their senior residents. This session will provide live presentations from a fitness instructor from the Rockville Senior Center, the Montgomery County Food Council, and Senior Planet that provides a host of learning topics, including technology. Interspersed with these presentations are many informational slides provided by various resource providers to give more information on support that is available. While the pandemic has highlighted the need for many services, the support has been strong within Montgomery County and the municipalities before the pandemic and will continue once we've passed this COVID crisis. I hope and I know you will find this information useful. Mayor Newton had a conflicting event earlier this morning, but she hopes, and we hope, that she'll join us at the end for a wrap-up. I want to take a moment to thank my office staff, my Chief of Staff, Lisa Mandel-Trupp, Carmen Carrad, Laurie Edberg, Kevin Mack, and especially our senior fellow, Betty Ring, from our office, for all of their hard work on today's event. Now I'm going to turn it back to our moderator, Susan Kennedy, to get us underway. Susan, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Councilmember Katz. As Councilmember Katz mentioned, we do have a lot of resources here in Montgomery County for our seniors. We're very, very lucky. The senior population is the fastest growing population we have here in Montgomery County, and we pay attention to that, and we try to make sure that we have what our residents need to make their life, keep their quality life, what they would like it to stay. And I just want to let you know how this is going to run through today. We're going to have 3 presentations, as Mr. Katz mentioned. We're going to be starting with Paula Oland, from Rockville Recreation. She has a great presentation for us that will be about 15 minutes long. We'll take a few questions after she's done. If you have questions today, please send them to us through the Q&A, and we will try and get to your question. But never fear, if we do not get to your question, we are capturing all the questions that come into our Q&A today, and somebody will get back to you with an answer. And again, as we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of slides that will be shown today. We will also provide folks with a link to this program and a link to access those slides after the program is over. So you may feel free to jot a few things down, but don't worry if you miss something. We will be sure to get that information to you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Paula, who has a really exciting, interesting presentation for us. Paula, good morning. It looks like you're ready to go at the Rockville Recreation Center there. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, other panelists. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Paula Oland. I do work at the Rockville Senior Center. I teach fitness classes. Believe it or not, I personal train seniors. There is no excuses for not moving and not being active and healthy. I will tell you that besides our fitness classes and personal training, our gym, we have art classes and computer classes, wellness classes, and special events. So at the end of my presentation, there will be a slide that has a link to our full catalog. But as a fitness person, I felt like I cannot just sit and do a little talk, that I have to move. And I felt that you all should move as well, because some of us have been sitting at a desk for a little while, maybe reading a paper, maybe drinking our coffee. So I'm going to ask that if you can, to go ahead and stand up and join me. If you are more comfortable seated, stay seated. Just make sure that you're safe in your chair. I'm going to ask that you take just a quick peek around, make sure there's no tripping hazards. I know teaching on Zoom, I've had my dog laying at my feet. Grandchildren around, sometimes we have little toys, but think about, so just make sure you have a safe space. If a doctor or physical therapist or even your body says not to do a movement pattern that I'm asking you to do, don't worry about it. You do not have to do it. Today, we're just going to do body weight exercises. In our classes, we oftentimes use weights, use handheld weights or resistance bands. But today for our session, we're just using body weight. If you are using our classes online, you can use bottled water, you can use books, you can use almost anything to give you the resistance you need. But once again, for today, we're just gonna loosen up the body, do a little bit of movement. So standing up nice and tall, seated nice and tall, firmly in your chair. We're gonna check our posture. We're gonna try and line up our ears with our shoulders, with our hips. If we're standing, we're gonna make sure that we're firmly over toes to heels, and we're gonna stand up nice and tall. Taking our hands to our sides, we're gonna scissor them back and forth. Just crisscross in front of your body. 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're gonna go to a little hula hoop action. Chest is up, shoulders are back. We're gonna put our hands to our hips, and we're just gonna circle our hips. We're gonna circle around. Keep circling. I'm not sure if someone could use the chat feature. I think my session froze on me. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center and let's switch. Let's go the other direction. We're circling those hips, loosening up those hips. We've been seated for a while. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. All right, just a few more moves to loosen up that body. Our wrists. We're just gonna circle these hands in one direction. 3, 2, and 1. And let's take those arms in another direction, or take our hands in another direction, just loosening up those hips. Oftentimes we're at a keyboard, we're looking at our phone, keeping those wrists loosey-goosey. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. All right. Now I'm gonna just want to check. It looked like everybody froze on me. So from here, once again, check that posture real quick. Remember our ears, shoulders, and hips, because I've had a different length than you have. So as we're standing here with our beautiful posture, let's go ahead and just start marching a little bit. Move those feet, nothing too crazy. Chest is up, shoulders back. My arms are loosey-goosey. They're moving. I'm just gonna get that heart rate up just a little bit. That's it. Traditionally, moving your arms and your legs gets that heart rate up just a little bit faster. So if you feel that heart rate's getting up a little bit too high, you can relax your arms and just move your feet. And you know what we're gonna do? Now we're just gonna move our arms. So I'm gonna ask you to take your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Give yourself that stable base to work from. Even seated in a chair, make sure you're seated firmly, evenly over your chair. We're gonna take our arms and we're gonna pump them like we're running, just moving back and forth. Your weight will shift a little bit left and right. That is A-okay. Just make sure you stay stable. Keep moving, keep moving. That's it. Keep moving. Move those arms. So you can see, even just moving your arms, you get that heart rate up there. So if you're having a day, those legs aren't working the way they're supposed to, even if you've been sitting at a desk a long time, you can move those arms, get that heart rate up there, get that blood flowing, oxygen going. Keep moving. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. We're going to go to one of my favorite little warm-up drills again. I'm going to let that heart rate come down just a little bit before we get into our strength training. My favorite move is a hip hinge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pretend that a table comes along and hits me right at this hip crease. My hips go out behind me, like they're going to go out that door behind me. Then what I'm going to do, push toes, heels into the floor, and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes, all these muscles back here, and come up nice and tall. Again, hinge it back and come up tall, hinge back and tall. One more time. If you're seated in your chair, you can always just squeeze those glutes, lift your chest up, and then relax. Squeeze your glutes. All these guys back here, all those muscles you sit on, we're squeezing them up tall. All right, that's that hip hinge. It's an awesome exercise to do if squatting and bending your knees is a bad idea. You can always do that hip hinge. So if you take any exercise classes and the instructor says, do a squat, you can be like, I got this. I have a hip hinge to do. All right. Other thing instructors, if you've taken an exercise class, love to say is use your core. Well, our core, believe it or not, it's all these muscles down low, these pelvic floor muscles, these hip muscles. It's these core muscles, all these muscles around your ribs, your chest, shoulders, even your back and your glutes. All of those muscles working together to keep you stable, to help you have energy transfer from up high to down low or down low to up high. Keep us stable. So what we're going to do, seated or standing, wiggle 10 toes into the floor, 2 heels, squeeze those glutes, hips, pull those ribs like you're lacing a corset. Chest is up, shoulders are back, and now give yourself a hug, squeeze, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, one more time, find those core muscles. My 10 toes, wiggle into the floor, 2 heels. Helps activate my core, tell my body that we're gonna squeeze all of these muscles. My glutes, I squeeze them to 100%. My hips, my pelvic floor, it almost creates a hammock to lift my organs up, lift me up nice and tall. My ribs come together like I'm lacing up a corset or bracing my belly. And then give yourself that hug again. 3, 2, 1, and relax. So now when I say to squeeze that core, to use your core, you know what muscles I'm talking about. We're going to go to a basic bicep curl. So my feet, once again, are about hip width apart. Weight is even, toes to heels, knees are soft. I'm going to lock my elbows into my sides. My arms are straight. Now, my straight might be different than yours. You might be slightly bent. That is okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to curl up and down and up. We're using our core to keep our body stable so that the only thing moving is our bicep, the front of our arm. And this is my get the groceries out of the back of the car, lift something up off the table. That's what this exercise helps us do. Squeeze those glutes, all those muscles. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So now we are going to go to that squat that I mentioned earlier. So you've made mental note, if doing a squat's a bad idea, you're going to do that hip hinge. This time through that table, bend my knees slightly. Chest stays up, shoulders stay back. To come up, guess what I'm going to do? Push through the floor, squeeze my glutes, and lift myself up nice and tall. And again, even in your chair, from here, from your seated position, you're going to squeeze your glutes and lift your chest. There's no excuses. You can work no matter what and where, and up. Take it back and up and back and up, using that core to help keep you stable. We're still breathing, still using all of our muscles. Give me one more and up. Perfect. All right. Last thing we're going to do, taking your feet hip width apart. Chest is up and shoulders are back. We're going to inhale up. Remember, only go as high as you should. Your doctor, physical therapist, or someone said, don't take those arms overhead. Guess what? Take those arms overhead. And now I want you to exhale out. One more time. Inhale up all the healthy, the positive, the I can, I will, I did do it energy. And exhale the negative and the toxic, because you did do it. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Susan. I know they're supposed to be putting up a slide with the link to our catalog. So I would love to see you all here. It's a lot of fun, I have to admit. I work probably in the best place ever. I'm sorry, everyone else. I have awesome coworkers and awesome people that come here. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Paula. That was awesome. I don't know if there's anybody who has any questions for you, but I have a couple that I'm going to ask, and we'll wait and see if any come in. And Councilmember Katz may have a couple too. Now, I think one thing to stress with exercise, we, like you mentioned, we've been sitting at our desks a lot. We haven't been as mobile. We're isolated. Talk a little bit about what else that exercise does for our endorphins and that oxytocin to our brain to sort of help with our mental health too, because it's been a long 18 months.
Oh my goodness, has it ever? And yes, exercise does. It's not only is it physically helping, but it is mentally and emotionally. It, as you said, it gets those endorphins going. It's also, I know for a lot of us through this pandemic, we've been meeting with classes virtually. So we sign on. So you also have that social aspect. Oftentimes before our classes, there's about 5 to 10 minutes where we just kind of open it up and people can chat and see each other, that you have in that group fitness environment. I've been meeting with clients online just to get that, yes, you are okay. There are people out there, just to help get everything flowing, because we get reading a newspaper, we get trapped sitting at our desk in a rabbit hole of, oh, what does this say? And what does this say? And getting that blood flowing, the oxygen flowing to all those fingers and toes is so important for our mental health, for our emotional health, for our physical health, for your health. Any other questions?
Absolutely. I think also one of the things that I thought was great about your presentation was that it was any level, any level of ability could do what you were doing, and you could add some weights to it if you wanted to, which I thought was great. And that sort of gives people the confidence that they are able to do these things, and you aren't prohibited from exercising, despite your condition.
Absolutely. We have classes here that are fit. I have to admit, I am a fitness person, so I know our fitness classes. We have exercise classes for people with arthritis, who, as you know, with arthritis, we can't we can't cure that, but you can still move to your ability, get that range of motion. We have classes seated. We have a seated Caribbean dance class. So we have a piloxing class. We have, so any fitness level is welcome here. And in the gym, meeting with trainers, with classes, there's no excuses not to move and be active, because we're offering it here to help you. We love it. It's just so exciting to get people moving.
We have a viewer with us who says she does Tai Chi with a sword at Holiday Park. There you go.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
That is.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do
just
too.
Careful,
I
please.
see here. I see, Paula, on the slide that it's not just the Rockville Senior Center. You guys have a lot going on over there. A lot of opportunities for seniors to get involved. Can you briefly go over a few of those for us?
So we do. We have tons of workshops. I know we do workshops on filing taxes, believe it or not. We've had the Rockville City Police come in and do safety. We've had different hospital centers come in. We have an Alzheimer's group that comes in for support. We do have, you can see our bus there. We have a couple buses with some awesome drivers who you can schedule them to come pick you up, so that if you don't drive or don't have a car for some reason, they can pick you up, bring you to the center. Also meals, take you to grocery stores. We do special events where I know in the pre-COVID, we went for a walk down at Great Falls. We've gone to Strathmore. Just on, I think there was one time where they went to a crab feast. I didn't hear too much about that until the end, so I couldn't sign up and join it. But yes, there's counseling services here, woodworking.
Wow, amazing. We have one more question from our audience that I'd like to get us to answer before we have to let you go, Paula. Sharon Hill wonders, she says, I live in Gaithersburg. Am I able to participate in Rockville Senior Center programs? And if so, what is the cost? Do you have any answers for her, or should she go to send the email to the senior center at rockvillemaryland.com to get that answered?
So she can absolutely participate in the senior center. There is a price difference for those who live within the city of Rockville, but more than welcome. Please join us. We would love to have you. I do not know off the top of my head the price difference, so I would suggest either calling or sending an email. The ladies that answer the phones and the email are wonderful, super friendly people. So can you tell I love my job?
And if I can jump in, and not that I want competition for my good friends from Rockville, but I know that Gaithersburg also has a senior center. So you could certainly check with them as well. And believe me, all municipalities are friends of each other. So, we will work together. But I did want to ask one question. Paula, and you might have mentioned this and I missed it, but how long does each exercise class last?
So I didn't answer that. They all vary. Traditionally, they're about 40 minutes to an hour. I would say on average, they're about 50 minutes. Right now, because of the pandemic, we are limiting the number of participants in our classes to make sure everybody has space, and you do need to exercise with a mask. So even though our classes are lasting probably 50 minutes, there's a lot of breaks in there because we are exercising with masks on. Virtually, obviously, you just get moving because you're at home and you're on Zoom. So you can kind of change that intensity and keep going. But most of the classes are about 45 minutes to an hour long.
Great. And everybody on earth should have your enthusiasm for your topic and beyond. And I know that you have a hard stop in a few minutes. So thank you very, very much for being with us. We really do appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for inviting me. It's a lot of fun to do. And the more people we can get at this place, I'd love it.
Thank you so much, Paula. We got lots of positive comments. So you did a great job. We're going to let you go and move on with your day. Thanks again. Now
thank you all.
We'll be sharing some slides right now, some more slides with all of you to get some information on recreation in Montgomery County. There are lots of opportunities. As was mentioned by the council member, we have a recreation center also in Gaithersburg, and I know there are other senior recreation centers in the county, and you can go to their websites and check and see what their class availability is. As Paula mentioned, they're doing everything online still, so you are able to stay at home and stay safe, which is important right now for all of us. We know we're still getting through this pandemic. It's been a long 18 months, but it does seem like things are coming back to life a little bit, doesn't it, Mr. Katz?
It does, and it can't come back fast enough, but it does seem like, though we see they head in one direction and the direction turns around a little bit, but we're getting.
But we're doing a good job here in Montgomery County. We have a lot of folks who are vaccinated, and that's fantastic. And I think people are really good at following the science. And so we've been very lucky to be able to be where we are today. So we are showing you some websites, social media websites for some of the recreation services here in Montgomery County. If you are a social media person, that's also a really great place to get information on some of the programs that are going on. Most of the recreation centers do have social media sites. So if you are somebody who gets on Facebook, do a little search for your area to see if there is a Facebook page for your recreation center or the Rockville Recreation Center, and see what's going on there. And they frequently post lots of different updates and classes that are going on. So you can see if there's something that's happening that you'd like to participate in and register for right online. So again, we will have these slides for you after the show is over. And yes, there are door prizes. And for participating in today's Senior Resource Fair, if you go to your local recreation center and mention the virtual Senior Resource Fair, you will get a little giveaway if you're one of the first 75 people to mention the Senior Resource Fair, this year's 2021 virtual Senior Resource Fair. So we all love prizes. Prizes are always fun. So if you remember to do that when you go to your next senior center, just tell them about it. Or even when you register online, mention it, and they will give you a little gift. So we appreciate that very much. So we are now the Rockville City Police Department, right there in downtown Rockville, a great department, do a wonderful job keeping our community safe. We're very lucky to have them in Montgomery County. The city of Rockville is very active in the community. Obviously, Councilmember Katz knows that he's on the Public Safety Committee for the County Council, but we frequently do interact with Montgomery County Police. We sort of partner with them, the other private police departments. So that's always wonderful to see. So we are still going through these slides. Again, we will have them for you where you can get this information. And there's probably something there you see, consumer protection. Boy, they do an awesome job of protecting our seniors, don't they, Sydney? We are so lucky to have our Office of Consumer Protection.
The contact information that you have.
We are, as I said, they are frequently looking out for our seniors, and they do a fantastic job. And if you
And
ever
in the
feel,
past, they've done presentations for this fair as well.
oh yeah, Eric Friedman has been with the county for a long time, and they have a very active department, and they do a lot to help our senior community. Elder Safe, another resource out there for safeguarding our seniors against abuse. Sadly, this is an issue in the community, unfortunately, but there is help out there for somebody who may be struggling. This is a wonderful resource. Again, I'm always amazed at how Montgomery County is so wonderful at providing all these resources. We really, I think, are top notch in that area. Of course, I'm a little bit, biased, right, Sydney? We're a little bit biased, but we really do make sure that folks have the resources they need to have a good quality of life. We are having a few of these slides are presented here in Spanish as well for our Spanish speaking audience. That's
And it should also be noted that the state's attorney's office also has a division that works for elder abuse. And I can tell you, they too have done our forums before, and it's absolutely horrifying that they need a division for that, but they have it, and they're active, and that they do prosecute. And the point that has been made time and time again is that do not be embarrassed that this has happened to you, because people are afraid to come forward. They're embarrassed that this took place. Do not be embarrassed. This needs to be taken care of, and the people that are doing these horrible things need to be brought to justice, so that they don't do them to you ever again, and they don't do them to anybody else either. So
absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to be moving into the second part of our presentation today. We have Anne-Marie Hart Bookbinder. She is a manager at the Montgomery County Food Council, and we know that food security has been an issue for so many of us during this pandemic, and the Food Council has done a phenomenal job of making sure that people have food on their tables during this pandemic. Welcome, Anne-Marie.
Susan, thank you so much. And thank you so much to Councilmember Katz for inviting me and your staff. Again, my name is Anne-Marie Hart Bookbinder, and I am both a registered dietitian and the Food Security Programs Manager at the Montgomery County Food Council. The Food Council is a nonprofit organization that connects businesses, nonprofits, government agencies, and residents around food system issues in our county. And my role focuses specifically on food security. So I work with many organizations in the county that provide or are involved in food assistance. Today, I want to share with you food assistance resources that are available to seniors in Montgomery County from various federal and county agencies and local nonprofit organizations. I want to stress that there may be some services we touch on today that have come about in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but on the whole, these are resources that have been available prior to COVID and will be available post-COVID as well. And I believe that Betty is going to share my slides, but I am just going to keep talking. And if we catch up together, great. If not, I know you'll be provided with them.
Are the slides not visible?
This is the, yes, we are just,
Yes.
yep, perfect. You're right where I am. Great, thank you. So first, I'd like to cover the government programs that are available to you. This first one is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. SNAP provides nutrition benefits to supplement the food costs to individuals who may be food insecure. The program provides a monthly sum on an electronic benefit transfer, or EBT card, which is used like a debit card at participating grocery stores and other food retail outlets. I've listed here the ways that you can apply to receive these benefits, as well as get help in learning whether you might qualify. Again, this is all going to be shared with you, so no need to copy anything down. But just to show you that there are a variety of ways to learn about these. You can apply directly with the state online. You can call the county or visit their website for assistance. And you can also call Maryland Hunger Solutions to receive application assistance. Next slide, please. The second government program we'll cover is the Senior Nutrition Program, which provides meals to county residents aged 60 and over for a voluntary donation, and for their spouse of any age, with those younger than 60 paying full price. The program provides a hot lunch in a congregate or group setting, where activities and services for seniors are available, like the Rockville Senior Center, where Paula works. So there's also nutrition education, screening and counseling available at many of those sites. The program also serves as a central contact for home delivered meals, referring seniors with medical or health issues that prevent them from attending the meal site to Meals on Wheels that serve their addresses. Meals are nutritious and suitable for persons with diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension, because they meet federal standards that include each meal providing at least 1/3 of the recommended dietary allowances for older adults, and they also comply with the dietary guidelines for Americans. Kosher, Chinese, Korean, Latino, and Vietnamese meals and programming targeted to these ethnic groups are also available at certain sites. The County Senior Nutrition Program is also in charge of distributing Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program checks, which are limited funds that are available to low-income seniors that can be used at many local farmers markets to purchase fresh fruit and vegetables during the market season. I really encourage you to look into these federal and county resources, take advantage of these programs. They are there for you. And sometimes they don't get the utilization, that is available. People are not taking advantage of these resources, so I encourage you to do so. Along with these government programs, there are many local nonprofits that provide food assistance to Montgomery County residents, and many more so now, obviously, in response to COVID. Some of these organizations are specifically targeted at seniors and may provide other services of interest along with food assistance. Some that you may have heard of already are Manna Food Center, local help organizations such as those located in Bethesda, Gaithersburg, Olney, and others, various religious and community organizations like the Rainbow Community Development Center, and community groups specifically serving seniors, such as the Senior Connection and the American Muslim Senior Society. The easiest way to locate these organizations and learn about the various food assistance services they provide is to visit the Montgomery County Food Council's Food Assistance Resource Map, which is located on our website. So I'm going to give you a quick little picture tour of that so you can see what you would find if you came to our website to use this resource. As you can see here, you can search by provider name if you have a specific organization in mind. And just a note that as you start typing, matches of names start to appear. Or you can search by street address or zip code to find those nearest you. Once you have entered your search, a list of providers will appear on the left and their location will appear on the map on the right. Information about each provider includes their contact information, what type of food assistance they provide. So for example, if it's a pre-packed bag, or if it's a choice pantry, which is similar to how you would shop in a store, as well as any special features like whether they offer delivery and if there are any changes in their service due to COVID. Another resource I want to be sure to mention is the Montgomery County Food Access Center, which is available by calling 311 or visiting the county website. The call center and website provide resources in English, Spanish, Amharic, Chinese, Vietnamese, French and French Creole, and Korean. I'm going to briefly review the information you can obtain from the website, which is what someone would also walk you through on the phone if you were more comfortable calling 311. First, you will be able to access a calendar of all of the upcoming food giveaway events in the county with their dates, times, and location. Next, there is a link to our food assistance resource map, which we just reviewed. You can also schedule an appointment with the Food Access Call Center for personal service. You can find the information I shared earlier on the Senior Nutrition and SNAP programs. You can find a listing of organizations and businesses that provide meal, grocery, and food assistance deliveries. You can find the locations of the 8 different COVID-19 service consolidation hubs, which are providing food and basic necessities to their regional areas. And finally, if you yourself would like to contribute your time or resources to help others in need, you can find information on how to do just that. So here is a screenshot from the county website of the calendar of food giveaway events. As you can see, you will see the date, time, location, and name of the event for the coming weeks. And it will also note if an event has been canceled. So that's important information to have. And finally, I mentioned that if you are interested in donating your time or resources to help others in need in the county, the best way to learn about available opportunities and match them with your skills and interests is to reach out to the Montgomery County Volunteer Center. And this is the slide that is going in your packet, which has all of the websites that I referenced, phone numbers for all the various programs.
Amazing, Anne-Marie. Wonderful, wonderful. We just had a question come in, which I think is interesting, from Mary Nino. She wonders, is there a single point of intake for all senior services, or is a senior required to call each service? It looks like if you're looking at a specific program, then you need to go directly to that program. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say specifically for seniors, like I said, the county does have the senior nutrition program, and that is probably your best first stop to find out about local meals, things that might be available to you. And obviously, because their focus is on seniors, they probably have access to, they can put you in touch with the right places to meet your needs. And also, obviously, calling the county 311 really allows you access to a live person, who can walk you through all of the various options in the county that best meet your needs.
This is really great information and important information. I think, we've done a pretty good job of trying to get the word out of what we have here in Montgomery County during the pandemic, but I even am learning some new things that I didn't know about here. So we just want to make sure that people who are on the call today know that we will be getting this information to them so they have it themselves. And if they need to access it. And the Food Council, just really briefly before we let you go, tell us a little bit more about the Food Council. You do much more than just food, don't you?
We really do. We really do. We focus on a number of priorities in the county. I mean, we really are supporting the whole local food system within the county. So we work with local farmers. We support Montgomery County food businesses with our MoCo Made program. We are obviously interested in environmental impact, food economy systems, how everything really works together to support a local food movement that supports and provides, a healthy, sustainable food system for people in Montgomery County.
That's fantastic. And we did have a question just come in about,
yes,
are these programs income-based? Do you have to?
I did see that. So for senior meals, those are open to seniors 60 and above, not income-based. For some other programs like SNAP, yes, then there is an income base, and that is somewhat something that when you applied or worked with someone helping you with an application, they would be able to best help you understand what the income requirements are for that. And again, I do want to stress about things like SNAP and even the meal sites that these may not always be taken advantage of to the capacity that they are able to support. So I really, really strongly urge you, especially if you are in need, to take advantage of these resources. They are there for you. So we really don't want to hear that people are going hungry who are not taking advantage of these opportunities. We really want to get you matched with them.
Fabulous. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Anne Marie. This is all very important information, great information. As we mentioned, food security has been a big issue during this pandemic. So we appreciate your time and sharing all these wonderful resources with us.
You're very welcome.
We're going to move now to some more resources for everybody to take a look at and see if anything pops out at you before we go to our third presenter. There are, as I said, there are so many resources here in Montgomery County, and we are going to be providing you with a full list of all of these websites and all of these resources after the meeting. If you did sign up for the webinar via email, you will receive this. But if you did sign up, if you did join at the last minute and you didn't sign up by email, please put your email in the chat so we have it and we can get this information to you, because we don't want you to miss out on the chance to take advantage of some of these amazing programs. The Food Council and the food opportunities in the county are just amazing. And I think a lot of the models that they've set up are going to continue for months to come. Do you agree with that, Sydney? We've really kind of had to change the way we look at food security.
Absolutely. And candidly, as was just mentioned, it was something that was a concern before the pandemic, and then it just became that much larger of a concern. It affected more people, obviously, because of the pandemic, but there is never a reason that someone should go hungry in Montgomery County.
Absolutely.
We are here to help. And there again, I was talking about that embarrassment factor before, when someone, didn't want to contact the state's attorney's office. But this is the same thing. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be hungry. You are our friends, you are our neighbors, and we will help take care of the situation.
Thank you. We have a few more slides to show before we get on to our presenter from Senior Planet. But we have the APS. They are there in Montgomery County, how you make a report. Those are forwarded to the Crisis Center after hours, so you can make that call 24/7, which is really good to know. As the council member mentioned, we have a wonderful state's attorney's office that does a great job making sure that those perpetrators who are involved in senior abuse are, justice is served there. And we are very serious about that here in Montgomery County. And somebody even put in the chat here about that. And they said, let me see if I can find that again. They said that if you're concerned about any older vulnerable adult, please feel free to call the Elder Safe Center. So, these people are there for you. And there's all different types of abuse. There's all types of red flags. And these slides will give you the information you need to recognize if this is something that might be happening to somebody that or you hear it's happening to somebody and you can help them get the help that they need to get out of that situation. So that's very, very important. Again, in Spanish, this is John McCarthy. He's our state's attorney, and he is very committed to our senior population here in Montgomery County. He's just fantastic. Oh, there's MCDOT. They are fantastic as well. We do try to provide transportation to our seniors here in Montgomery County at free of charge or low charge. So that's a wonderful department here in Montgomery County. And there's lots of options, as you can see. There's a lot of text on that slide, so I'm not expecting anybody to be able to read all of that. But again, you will get all of this information after the meeting is over today. So we will make sure that you have that, and you may be able to take it and just make yourself a folder and just say, these are some resources that I need to take a look at. There might be one that pops out at you right now. Make a note of it to make sure that you check back with it when you do receive your information. So you can make that number or that website readily available. And energy assistance. We know that that's been very tough for people as well. People have not been able to pay their bills during the pandemic. Most of the major utilities have been very generous in extending their deadlines and being forgiving on paying those bills. So there is information there. If you are having trouble paying your bills or you need an extension, they are willing to work with you. So we're very, very, very lucky in that regard as well. I do think that we've, it's been a tough year and a half, but we've been pretty lucky, Sydney. I think everybody has been, it's been a very, there have been a silver lining through all of this, I think, and the good of people that have come through in this difficult time.
And we're going to run out of time in case
Yes, we're going to need to get on here to talk to our senior planet. We have Shrivali Harabatki. She is the Regional Director of Senior Planet Montgomery, which is really a great program. Shivali, tell us a little bit about Senior Planet for those of the people on the line today who might not know.
Thanks, Susan. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Shivali Harabakti. I'm the Regional Director for Senior Planet Montgomery. At Senior Planet, we believe that we should view aging with attitude, and that's what we strive to do in all of our activities. We are in 6 locations nationwide, but of course, I'm here to talk to you about what we're doing here in Montgomery County. We've been here for 4 years, working hand in hand with the county to provide programs free of charge to seniors in the county. And these programs were all conducted in person prior to the pandemic in libraries and senior centers. They were typically centered around a device. So think of your iPhone or your iPad, and we would have them available to use during the class. One of our Senior Planet trainers would help the senior set it up, and then they would enroll in one of our classes. These classes can be 5 weeks or 10 weeks long, just depending on the amount of commitment and the level of difficulty of the class. They came with a course book as well as class handouts, and were really designed specifically with older adults in mind. We have a curriculum team that is award-winning for that specific need. Of course, with 2020, we had to change and make a pivot to digital. So since March 2020, we have been offering everything online. Our platform of choice was Zoom, and we chose Zoom for a number of reasons. The number one reason was that it is most accessible, most friendly to use. People can dial in if they don't have a desktop, or you can also use your mobile phone as well to go to all of our programming. We offer programming in English, Spanish, and Mandarin weekly, and they are usually 60 minutes in length. Like I was saying, it's free to anyone in the county, and now it's easier than ever to just go on our website, seniorplanet.org/Montgomery, and check out our programs and figure out what piques your interest, and all you have to do is click on that Zoom link. There's no passcode. There's no registration required for 90% of our programming, which is on purpose. We do go to extreme lengths to make sure it's secure, so that we can provide that service for you all. So I'm here today. That's a little background. I also wanted to share a little bit about what we're doing for the rest of the year, and kind of pique your interest, because I'm very excited that I'm here and kind of speaking to the people that hopefully join the class. So I want to hear from you all as well, and I'll be taking questions at the end. So in terms of, we are just finishing up our summer quarter. This Friday will be our last class, and then we're going to take a 2-week break, and we'll enter our fall programming the week of October 11th. So after this, I think Susan will show a slide, which will have our website, and if you click on that, you'll see the schedule for October, November, and December. But I wanted to engage with you all and not show a slide while I'm speaking. So I'll just speak to some of the classes that you will be in store. So our categories are health, wealth, and self. And all of the programming ties technology into the class. So when it comes to health, you saw Paula do a bunch of exercises, and all of that. Well, we want to focus on, well, how do you track those things? How do you use your fitness apps to track all the exercise you're doing? So we'll have a 60-minute presentation on that. As well as another topic in the health space is mindfulness. That is something that a lot of people have been getting into because of the pandemic and really focusing on self-care. So we'll teach you what are the most popular mindfulness applications out there. In terms of wealth, we're really about keeping money in your pockets. As we're entering the cold winter months here, come join our program titled Stop Wasting Money on Your Utility Bill. Pretty self-explanatory there. And that'll have it. It is specific to Montgomery County. We show how to read your energy, how to sign up for a Pepco online account, for example, as well as other examples on how to do that. And finally, for the self component, this is anything from, I saw a panelist here in a comment say if there are any job fairs. Well, we have a presentation on how to search a job, how to find a job online. So maybe you sign up for a job fair and you come to our program beforehand to kind of get prepared and do a little bit of research. We also have programs on other things that you want to do to pass your time. So streaming and smart TVs. If you want to know if you're in the market for a new computer, we have Black Friday coming up. We have a program on how to choose a new computer. So like I said, all of this was on our website, seniorplanet.org/Montgomery, and it'll be on a slide that Susan shows after my presentation. As I was mentioning, I wanted to take an opportunity to hear from you all. So at this point, please be on a lookout on your Zoom screen. I'm going to launch a poll, and this poll is going to be on what class should we offer for the first week of November. So we have 3 topics, and I was curious to get your thoughts. So tell me what program you'd be most interested of the following 3. Would that be online shopping, online health resources, or online tools for contacting your lawmakers?
This is fun, being interactive like this. I like this little.
Yes, all you have to do is just check the box, and hopefully we'll be able to show the results after too. Carmen played around with that, so
Great.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, we got.
I think most people today know more about online shopping than they have ever known prior. So,
That's for sure.
yeah. I don't guess you can ever know enough. But
Right.
yeah. I'll tell you, the online health resources, we just recently, my wife and I, we actually did a Zoom to talk to a medical professional, and it was really interesting. I mean, so, and it was something that you never thought of. I mean, I grew up that a doctor came to your house way back when, and now, of course, they come to your house in a different way.
Yes, telemedicine appointments are becoming more of the norm these days. And yeah, and it looks like that was the winner.
There you go.
Councilmember Katz, you called it. So
Yay.
Great. Well, I will make a note of that. Thank you so much for the feedback. We are always so excited to hear from the participants in the county and know what you're most interested in. You can always email us your suggestions as well. If you didn't see something on there that you are burning to know about, email us. We have an email address, mocoinfo@seniorplanet.org. I'm not done yet. I have one last thing that I wanted to leave you all with to get you excited about a lecture that we have. So I'll leave you with a final tech tip. As we enter the holiday months, you might be doing a lot of online shopping. And one of the tricks or one of the things to keep in mind is that you always want to make sure you're shopping on verified websites. So one quick and easy shortcut to do that is when you're going to the website that you're choosing, let's say it's Amazon, you want to make sure that in the URL, HTTP part, the first part, there's always an S at the end of HTTPS. That S stands for secure. So I myself did not know that until I attended our lecture on protecting your personal information. And that is just something to keep in mind, that, hey, whenever you're on a website, similarly to government websites, you always want to look for the .gov. That way, it's a verified government website. In a similar way, when you're doing e-commerce, if you look for the S at the end of HTTP, you'll know that it's a secure website for all of your online shopping needs.
Thank
I
you.
love that. That's a great tip. I did not know this.
Yes.
I did not know this either. So this is very helpful. And I'm sure there were other people part of the webinar who just learned this today. Shivali, this was very informative. And it's really great that we're working to help our seniors stay on top of the latest technology, and because it can be challenging. It can be
Certainly. So we hope to see many of you at one of our fall programming. And if we have time, I'll take some questions. Thank you.
Well, we're
Thank
not
you.
going to, unfortunately, we're not going to have time.
I think there's
Susan?
a slide that we were going to show with the information of the website.
Yes, please.
And I'm going to wrap it up. And sadly, we are about out of time. And we did have Mayor Newton join us. And
Yes.
she'll be saying farewell, hello and farewell at the same time. But I really want to thank everybody, all our presenters today, because I think there was a lot of valuable information shared. And we are, so grateful that all of you were here today. And again, we had some great resources shared in the chat during the program, which we want to thank everybody else who did that and shared those resources. You will be receiving that information with the rest of the information we shared today. And we will email you a link to the program as well as a link to all of that information. And we are running out of time, so I'm going to turn it over to our elected officials to take us out.
Mayor Newton, please, you will have the final word, please.
Well, thank you so much. And Councilmember Katz, thank you for all you do to help the seniors in Montgomery County, and especially my favorite city, Rockville. I just came from the groundbreaking of the Twin Brook Corridor project. So everyone there is going to be another wonderful opportunity in the city of Rockville. 280 MPDU units, whatever it is, 18,000 acres. It's just 18 acres, I'm sorry, and just an opportunity for all of us to grow no matter what age you are. I did try to join from my phone down in the parking lot and couldn't, so I'm going to be one of those people signing up for the tech class to learn how to be more tech savvy. So just thank you all. This was a wonderful program, and I'm sorry I was late getting here.
Thank you, and thank you to you personally and to the city of Rockville for all that you do as well. Thank you to all the panelists and everyone who is participating, and not as panelists, but certainly as members of the public. These types of events truly do make a difference in each of our lives. And Susan Kennedy, thank you so very much for being a great moderator. And as I've said during a lot of these, this is the fastest hour or half an hour that ever exists because it goes too quickly. But anyhow, thank you, Susan.
Thank you so much to everybody. And again, we will get you this information. Be safe. And thank you again to our presenters, and have a wonderful Wednesday.